120 frames per second in Minecraft. Sounds completely normal, until you see the PC running it. Manufactured in 2004, featuring an Intel Pentium 4 processor, a mere 512 megabytes of RAM, and an ancient IDE hard drive. To put that into perspective, this entire PC has less RAM than a cheap smart fridge. Let alone playing Minecraft, most people called it junk. I called it a challenge. To pull off 120 FPS, I pushed this 22-year-old PC to its absolute limit. So, how did I actually do it? Let's find out. And here's our main character today. An old Fujitsu office PC with a weird name, the FMV Desk Power CE70G7. Released back in early 2004, it's actually older than some of you watching this video. Just look at it. I mean, it couldn't look any worse. The front panel has completely popped off, and the whole case is covered in scratches. But considering its age, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. But check this out, we've got an Intel Pentium 4 and a Windows XP sticker. Pure nostalgia right here. And it gives us a pretty clear warning of just how impressive the performance of this machine is going to be. Even though the exterior is worn out, everything inside is surprisingly intact. There are no signs of rust or serious damage. Look at this! 2 DDR1 RAM sticks, each with a mere 256 megabytes, running at a 333 MHz bus speed. Honestly, this is the first time I've held a DDR1 RAM stick, and the capacity is still measured in megabytes. Nowadays, we are so used to using gigabytes. This machine is so ancient that it doesn't even have SATA ports yet. This old HDD is still using the flat IDE standard cable from ancient times. As for the CPU, it is indeed the legendary Pentium 4-like on that sticker with 1 core 2 threads at a clock speed of 2.8 GHz. So basically, the hardware is complete. Now it's time to test, will this scrap metal still be alive after 22 years? Let's plug it in, press the button, and no fan, no signal. The machine was completely silent. Maybe I will need to do a little check. The first thing I suspect is the power supply. So I will take it out to check. Oh no, it's dead. So I need another power supply to replace it. But there is another problem. The proprietary power connector on this machine has only 20 pins instead of 24 pins as usual. But I suddenly realized most standard power supplies have a 20 pin plus 4 pin connector. So if I just remove the extra 4 pins, will it work? There is only one way to find the answer. Oh, it works. Awesome. The Windows 7 boot screen. Wait, why is it just a mouse cursor on a pitch black screen? What now? Luckily, it finally boots into the desktop. Typical sluggishness of ancient systems. This thing is running Windows 7 Starter on a Pentium 4 with 512 megabytes of RAM. Wow, I'm impressed. Meanwhile, the minimum requirement to play Minecraft is 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is 4 times what this machine has. Let's check Task Manager. CPU looks idle, but RAM is already sitting at 247 megabytes without me doing anything. I don't know what I can achieve with the remaining half of the RAM. Hey, Minesweeper is here. Runs pretty smooth. So funny. Chrome is here too. Oh, it works. YouTube videos play, but it's laggy as hell. And when I scroll down, all the images break into horror movie glitches. Honestly, I'm not too surprised. The fact that this machine even boots is a miracle. Now time for the real survival challenge, Minecraft. I'll start with Prism Launcher. Man, I had to fight through a mess of trouble just to download it. When I launched the installer, the loading cursor spun for 2 minutes before running. Yep. Prism Launcher no longer supports Windows 7. I tried checking GitHub for an older version, but the site was so broken it was unusable. So I switched to Legacy Launcher. But things got even worse. I pressed the download so many times I almost broke the mouse, but Chrome gave 0 response. After all this headache, I chose a smarter path. Download everything needed on my main PC, then transfer it over via USB. Oh no, Legacy Launcher still refused to cooperate. We have one last choice, Betacraft Launcher, but I need to install Java Runtime first. Now, Betacraft Launcher, oh, it started. I'll pick version 1.5.2. Black screen again. Oh, come on. Bad video card drivers. So we're missing graphics drivers. I don't even know what GPU this machine actually has. Old systems like this don't have IGPUs on the CPU. It's integrated onto the motherboard. I dug into Device Manager and found its super long hardware ID, VEN8086, Dev2572. Luckily, Google gave me a clue. It's the Intel 82865G. Finding drivers for an ancient chip like this is tough, so we're lucky to find a working link. Downloaded, installed, awesome. Restarted the PC, checked Device Manager, Intel 82865G is recognized. Fingers crossed. Launched Minecraft. Black screen again. Damn it, still the exact same error. Alright, I give up. It's time to scrap this cursed Windows 7 and switch to a more viable OS. I needed a Linux distro lightweight enough for this machine to handle, but still stable enough to play Minecraft. And I decided to go with Antiques, an ultra lightweight Linux distribution that can run on just 512 megabytes of RAM. It's the perfect fit for this situation. I thought it would be slow, but I didn't expect it to be this slow. This IDE hard drive is too ancient. Finally, after almost 1 hour of waiting, this scrap metal has finished installing Anti-X Linux. Oh no, we've got trouble. Disk boot failure, insert system disk, and press enter. Hey, I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything wrong. Why? I went into BIOS. The machine's 250GB HDD is still detected right here. Nothing unusual. Let's try reinstalling Antiques. Maybe something went wrong during the installation process. Okay, something is seriously wrong. We are completely stuck on the loading Linux kernel screen. It hits 100% and just freezes right there. Devilish. Maybe Anti-X has refused to cooperate with this scrap metal. We will have to switch to another option. But then a crazy idea flashed through my mind when I saw the front panel that had popped off the machine. Exactly that Windows XP sticker. That's right, why do I keep forcing this old machine to carry a modern operating system? When Windows XP was what helped it run most smoothly more than 20 years ago. No more wasting time. I immediately scoured the internet to find old school Windows XP installers. And one legendary name caught my eye. That is Micro XP v0.82 by Author Experience. This is a stripped down light version of Windows XP, cut down to the absolute bare essentials, with an installation file size of only 100 megabytes. It used to be a very famous legend in the modder community of the 2000s. Alright, let's install it on this old machine right away. Man, even though the installer is only 100 megabytes, this thing is still running slow as a snail. Maybe we're just too used to the speed of modern systems. Oh, here it is, the legendary Windows XP boot screen. Beautiful. Everything is super responsive, but the resolution is way too low. Let me tweak it a bit. 6000 by 1200. No, didn't work. 1022 by 768. Yeah, this is the sweet spot. On Task Manager, everything looks amazing. Only a few dozen megabytes of RAM are being used, and the CPU is just idling. Now, this is the operating system this machine was born to run. But this Windows version is so stripped down that it has absolutely nothing pre-installed. To play Minecraft, we're going to need some drivers first. Just like on Windows 7, I had to hunt them down using those messy hardware IDs. After digging around the internet for a while, I finally grabbed what I needed. Alright, let's install them. Nice, went straight through without a single error. Learning from my Windows 7 mistake, I'm not wasting any time with Prism or Legacy Launcher because they not support outdated platforms. Instead, for Windows XP, I'm installing Java Runtime and going straight to Betacraft. Luckily, Betacraft Launcher still supports Windows XP. Alright, let's see if Lady Luck is on my side this time. Awesome, Java is installed. Now how about Minecraft version 1.5.2? Please boot up, please. Black screen. Mojang, yes, yes, yes. Incredible, this piece of junk is finally running Minecraft. Let's generate a world. Man, this is taking forever. A solid 2 minutes just to load in. And oh god, we're not even hitting 10 frames per second. I turned all the settings down to the absolute minimum and things got way better. We're getting around 40 frames per second, but it's still lagging and jumping all over the place. If I stand completely still and look at the sky, it hits around 70 frames per second, but still very unstable. Okay, let's try a flat world. Much better. The system doesn't have to render so many blocks here. And when I look up at the sky, and we get 100 frames per second, and when I stop moving, wow, 120 frames per second. Oh my god, we actually did it. That was one hell of a crazy challenge, my friend.